Did y'all enjoy your lunch? Yes. Isn't it amazing in America? We live better than the kings of old. The old kings, the old pharaohs could never get a meal like that, right? You know, and it's quite wonderful. So let's send an applaud of gratitude to James and the crew. Let's send an applaud to all of the dishes and cup makers in the world that enable us to have dishes and put our... right? I was once in the forest trying to figure out how to make a cup and, you know, never figured it out, really. Let's give an applaud to all of the people, all of the amazing number of people who created the food that we ate, right? Years ago, I was in a grocery store, many years ago. I used to love these little cans of virgin peas. I like the idea of virgin peas. That kind of like, you know, kind of got me excited a little bit, you know. Right? But they were sweet peas. Of course, virgin should be sweet, I suppose, you know. So sweet virgin peas. And I went into the grocery store and went up to the where the green peas were. Looked out, picked it off the shelf. It's only a little runt can, you know, about that big, about that long. And I picked it off and it was $1.87. This was 40 years ago. And I went, $1.87? I got very upset. What a ripoff for a dinky little runt can of peas. And I'm going up and down the aisles trying to find a manager or somebody who was in charge who allowed this runt can of peas to come in there for $1.87. I was pissed. And I'm running them down, up and down, up, and I couldn't find anybody. That pissed me off even more. And all of a sudden, part of my consciousness started talking to me. John, yeah, what do you want? You're upset. Of course I'm upset. $1.87 for a runt can of peas. Who wouldn't be upset? You know, we got to destroy the world who would bring about such a thing. John, you're upset. I know I'm upset. You want to be upset? Oh, shut up. Will you stop feeding my own philosophy back to me, will you? You know, I'm saying this to my mind. And finally I said, okay, I don't want to be upset, but how can I not be upset with a $1.87 can of peas? And something in my consciousness said, what do you think it took to put this can of peas on the shelf? And I went, whoa, kind of went into this reverie, whoa, and I heard this rooster waking this poor farmer up at 5 o'clock in the morning. He's got to get up, it's cold, goes outside, hoes the land, you know, works like a dog, putting these peas in the ground, right? Seed peas. And then all of these critters come along and try to eat his peas as they're growing up, you know, and he's got to fight all the insects off. And then he's got to get all the peas harvested, and he's got to hire people to do that. And he's got to fight with the IRS and the government people, you know, to be able to have his farm and not lose it. And all of a sudden, all of these images started coming at me from everywhere. There were people that were mining tin in the ground, right? Pulling the ore out. And then these incredible machines that were converting the dirt into tin and whoa, you know, and then there were people in New York designing Jolly Green Giants, you know, the artists, and there were truckers going across America. And what are you looking for, Paul?
I'm looking for this wireless. Here it is.
Oh, there it is right there. Glad you found it. And the truckers were going across America, and they were CQing each other. Hi there, Joe, how you doing there? This is the big truck of the Green Giant, you know. Oh yeah, what are you doing? Oh man, I got the virgin peas. Oh, you're lucky good. He's got the virgin peas, that's cool. And all of these images came into my mind. I mean, there were thousands of them. of all the people that contributed to this can of peas. And then I came out of the reverie and I looked down at the can of peas and I went, $1.87. My God, what a bargain. Yeah, I bought 2 more. Okay.
So, John, is the moral of the story we should go to peas?
If you like. The moral of the story is to give gratitude for the people. The quality of our life is directly proportional to the quality of everybody else's life on the planet. Right? Right? And when we realize that over and over and over and over again, that the quality of our car, all the mechanics who keep it running, and we go, oh, look, the gas is up to 405. Yeah, you know, it took to refine that gas, all the people involved in that. Oh, well, it should be free energy. Yes, you can get off and all of that, and sure, we will evolve there. But look at all of these magnificent, creative people who have contributed to our lives. Let's give them all a hand. And if we are this free with all of the money that's been stolen from us, think what's going to happen when it all. All right. Everybody please do this. Hoo, 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 hoo. Put your hands up. Ooh, 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 ooh. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Now go, chew, 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 chew. The lunch is over. The workshop is about to begin. That crazy guy called Rafanello is going to be back with you soon. He's wearing a peace flag. Here it comes. It's approaching rapidly from the future. The resumption of the great peace-creating event. It is moving across the 13th galaxy, coming now across the solar system, moving into Earth, and here it is! The resumption! Yeah! Okay, let's give a warm welcome to that Rafanello guy again. Give him a hand, right? All right. The title of this talk is Discovering What Actually Empowers Us with the Ability to create a life, a reality, and a world that is a living reflection of our highest and grandest versions of ourselves and how life should be lived. How do you pull it off? The great Winston Churchill once said, most people stumble across the truth, but most people pick themselves up and continue on as if nothing had happened. I've been spending a good part of my life stumbling across truths, really amazingly powerful truths, and trying to get over the stupidity of continuing on as if nothing had happened. Part of what I ask you to do this, shoo, 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 and you do it so perfectly in rhythm, like an orchestra of amazing musicians. Part of the reason that's done is so that you can make a copy of something. James puts out some incredible information. Do you get it? Are you able to copy it? Have it in your consciousness exactly as it was put out. Because if you don't, you'll never be able to know what he said and be able to apply it to see whether it works or not, right? What works? When I was about 10 or 12 years old, I was up at my grandfather's farm in Wiggville, Connecticut. It was Nellie and Pliny Pratt from Wiggville, Connecticut. Doesn't that sound like a country bumpkins? Nellie and Pliny Pratt. On my mother's side, we would go up every Sunday to their house. We'd go to the Italian grocery store and we'd get the great ham and we'd get the cheese, and then we'd go to Harvest Bakery and get the rolls to put it on, and we'd get eclairs, and you can tell, here it is. And my other Italian grandmother would say, eat, eat, hungry, eat. You couldn't even see straight anymore, and she'd be inviting you to eat. Well, this one Sunday, I went up to Grandma Nellie and Pliny Pratt's. My grandfather looked a lot like Will Rogers, if you remember the old humorist. If you haven't, I invite you to YouTube it. Old Will Rogers. He was a rope-twirling cowboy in vaudeville who decided to talk to people one day, and they liked his talking more than his rope-twirling, so he became a great humorist. My grandfather looked at him. He had the same wry humor, the same dry humor. My grandmother was Canadian French. Canadian French, that's it. They are like truck drivers, not like the Parisians. They talk strong, like Qatar. We are Canadian French, That's my grandmother. And my grandfather was part American Yaqui Indian and all sorts of other things, a mixture of all the wonderful things of Americans coming together and intermingling with each other in various ways for various purposes. And so I was up there on Sunday. It was fall, and if you've ever been in New England fall in Connecticut, it's magnificent. How nature can do such a fabulous job of dyeing. They dye with all these incredible colors, and then a rebirth occurs, which is what we're doing. The old way is dying, and the new way is we're giving birth. My grandfather was sitting on the porch smoking a pipe, petting the dog. My grandmother was in cooking bread, as she often was. And I was out kicking leaves. I was having a great time. When you're a kid, you go, oh yeah, there to go, up and down. You're going along. You don't have that adult, can't do that kind of thing. I was out having a ball kicking the leaves. All of a sudden, I kicked this one pile of leaves. Underneath it was the biggest red lollipop I had ever seen in my life. Whoa! One of these carnival ones with all the swirls. Give me some nods if you're, so I know you're tracking with me rather than drifting off into some other world. Remember, flow your attention out and participate. So you know what I mean by one of those carnival ones? Yes. Oh yeah. That sounded like apathy to me. Do you know what I mean by one of these carnival ones? Oh, thanks, all right. I picked it up, I brushed it off, and I discovered that it was hardly used at all. This was a great discovery, for me. Whoa. Now, if my grandmother, Nellie, had seen that, all hell would have broken loose. She would not have subscribed to the hardly used philosophy, He'd figure I was going to die from germs or something. Unbeknownst to me, my grandfather had a similar philosophy. He didn't think it was a good idea for kids to pick up lollipops either, even if they were hardly used. But he had a very different way of handling things. He looked at me, I got nervous, thought maybe my lollipop will go away. There's where your fear comes. Fear is the idea that value will go away. I will value that hardly used lollipop. I don't want it to go away, But then he looked away. He went back to smoking his pipe, petting the dog. So I relaxed. The government wasn't going to take my lollipop away. I was free. So I went over and I sat by him on the porch enjoying my lollipop. And after a while, he kind of cocked his head a little like this. And he looked over at me and he said, you know, if I had known that you had wanted to eat that lollipop, I would have told that dog not to pee on it. That was the last lollipop I ever picked up to this day. Slightly used. A little bit more than slightly. Now, although that's extremely humorous, it's also a wealth of workable know-how is contained within that. My grandfather accomplished his purpose at the speed of thought. Right? Why? Why was he able to create a negative effect where he went, ooh, the lollipop, and never picked it up anymore? How come? It took me years to figure it out. Because I had defined pee as something bad to put in your mouth. That was my definition. Putting your pee in your mouth, not good. Putting lollipops in your mouth, good. My favorite comedian, George Carlin, had a routine about all life is moving your stuff. You know, this lollipop was a piece of stuff, and our bodies is a piece of stuff, and you know, and we're moving in and out of this spiritual domain that we're moving through. We're moving stuff. I remember George saying, my stuff is stuff. Your stuff is shit. He says, please move your shit so I got some place to put my stuff. See, it's all the meaning we put on it. In Disneyland, there was a show that ran at the Frontier, in Frontierland at the Golden Horseshoe Review, the longest running theatrical production in history, called the Golden Horseshoe Review. And it was wonderful, especially if you could relax all of your rigidness and you could go in. Because Slewfoot Sue would come up there and she would sing to you. Hello, everybody. We're very glad to greet you. This is the Golden Horseshoe. Hello, everybody. We're very glad to meet you. This is the Golden Horseshoe. If you are a stranger, just say, howdy, stranger. We will soon be friends that way. The welcome mat is out today at the Golden Horseshoe Cafe. Isn't that nice? You're welcomed in, and everybody who waved, just say, howdy, stranger. Howdy, stranger. Wait. Howdy. Then Wally Bogue, a traveling salesman, would come up with this Irish tenor, and they went into this routine, and Wally said to him, hey, Joe, how you been? Haven't seen you in a long time. He says, oh, I'm good. I got married. I says, ooh, that's good. He says, no, that's bad. She's pretty ugly. I says, oh, that's bad. He says, no, that's good. She's got quite a bit of money. I said, ooh, that's good. He says, no, that's bad. She won't give me a dime of it. I says, ooh, that's bad. He says, no, that's good. She built us a big house with 12 servants in it. I said, ooh, that's good. He said, no, that's bad. It burned down the other day. I says, ooh, that's bad. He says, no, that's good. She was in it. Notice the mixed reactions. Here's an incredibly powerful, amazing truth that hopefully you'll hear and you won't get up, pick yourself up, and continue on as if nothing had happened. All situations in life are fundamentally neutral. They do not have any built-in meaning. We add the meaning to whatever occurs. I believe that it is vital, important, and delightful for you to continually discover that you do in fact create your own reality. How you feel at any given moment, and ultimately, how the reality looks. But we got to get it down to something you can experience, because there's a vast difference between an intellectual understanding or an intellectual philosophy that you create your own reality and an actual experience that you do on an ongoing basis. Would you agree? This is an absolute truth. There are only 4 absolute truths, and I'm not going to tell them all to you. You're going to have to call me up and maybe give me some money for me to tell you all of them. But, I'm going to give you one. One absolute truth. We get what we create. Whatever we create, we have it. Please repeat after me. All situations are fundamentally neutral. All situations are fundamentally neutral. No situation has built-in meaning. No situation has built-in meaning. We add the meaning to anything that occurs. If we add a negative meaning, we will have a negative effect on ourselves instantly. That rotten IRS, them son of a gun, I can't see it because it's being videoed. And I'm not George Carlin, so I can't use all the dirty words. What happens? What happens? You feel lousy. That's it. You assign a negative meaning to what all those bad guys did out there. First of all, you're calling them bad guys to start off with. And you're going to feel lousy. On the other hand, positive meaning, positive effect on self instantly. Please don't go by this truth and pick yourself up on and continue on as if nothing had happened. This is unbelievably powerful. This is a key source to your discovering every day, moment to moment, that you create your own reality, because this is something you can feel, you can taste, you can see it. You can experience it personally. Whether you can experience the universe turning on and off at your will, oh, you'll have to evolve into that one. But you can experience this, that you give a negative meaning to something, you're going to have a negative effect on yourself. There's an Italian gesture, which is an arm version of a finger exercise, which goes, you know what it means, all of you. Everybody know what that means? My wife used to push it up like this. I'd say, no, Carol, it doesn't go up like that. She said, well, what are you stopping it for, Yeah. Well, you got a point there, Yeah. As Belafonte, Harry Belafonte, I got a chance to sing with Harry Belafonte once. I loved him. And he once said, the woman is smarter than the man in every way. And I think, true, most women would agree with that, because they have the emotion, the love, the feeling, the womb that gives birth to our culture. And it is the male-dominant energy unbalancing or totally throwing into non-existence the female energy that has led to the insanities that we have found ourselves the effect of. So that's why we talk about love. Love, love, love. And how do you love? Well, I think you got to understand, or we got to understand, I'm going to include myself in it, why people do what they do. They do what they do because they think it will get them what they want. All those people who did all of those things did it because they think it'll get them what they want. And if you can understand that, you can kind of understand even some of the most atrocious actions. You know, we're going to kill all of these infidels. Why? Because they are preventing me from getting into paradise. If somebody buys into that mindset, you can call it insane, but they buy into it, you can kind of understand why they go out and kill everybody. Oh, America is being attacked. Let's support our troops, and we should. I mean, the unbelievable courageousness of people who would go out and do that. But how many times do they not know that they're being manipulated to try and protect a freedom that doesn't exist, that they're being invited into a war game? See? All situations are fundamentally neutral. They don't have any built-in meaning. We add the meaning. We've added negative definitions to things. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's good. I've guided people to just let go of the negative. You know, it's so amazing. Sometimes you can be in pain and just pick up the word pain that you've assigned a negative meaning to. Oh, pain. Oh, that's bad. I've had people actually just let go of the meaning and the pain went away. Wild. Our power is amazing. Continually discovering that we create our own reality. As James so beautifully put out, you know, what an amazing, let's not go over it and forget it. Let's not pick up the truth. The man courageously battled with the system a good portion of his life and failed. Why? You cannot oppose somebody's point of view. It's them. It's out of their creation. It's their thoughts. It's their ideas. It's coming out of their own uniqueness. You oppose it, they're going to fight it to the death. How do you like somebody opposing your point of view? You know, hey, John, I think you're full of shit. Oh, cool. Actually, not so much. You know, I kind of relieved myself during the break, you know, but, but you know, it's a valid point of view. Somebody says to me, John, you're full of crap. I say, well, you know, that's one of the things that I could be. And thank you for the invitation to consider that I'm full of crap. I appreciate it. It was very nicely presented. You know, you had a lot of boldness there. You are full of crap, man. You're full of crap, crap. You're just full of crap, crap, crap. You know, I got to admire, whoa, the guy really went for it. You know, nicely done, you know. And what's he inviting you to do? He's inviting you to consider you're full of crap. Well, a great way to look at it is that it's an invitation. He's inviting you to think you're full of crap. Well, okay, that's one of the things I could do. I'm an infinite being. You know, I could be full of crap if I wanted. Let me see, choice, like James would say, do I choose to be full of crap or full of, nah, I'd rather be full of ice cream. Okay, very good. But thank you very much for the invitation. Like I said, it was very nicely presented, but no thank you. See, how did we get trapped in all of this stuff? We were invited into it, right? We were not being alert. We were sitting in a lecture and all the information was flowing at us. And we started to drift off and we didn't notice what we signed. And you fall into the trap, see? I've been studying consciousness and relationship mastery for a long time. I'm going to do a bunch of seminars and workshops on it, and James is going to help me support them. We're going to do a life mastery course. A lot of fun. Entertain people into the truths. Make it fun. I'm going to get Bill Gates to create a human operating system without sell windows, right? Being able to learn how to operate as an infinite spiritual being. People have been coming to me into my office for 40 years, arriving in the office and telling me that their problems, their upsets, their stress, their difficulty was being caused by somebody else. It's being caused by their wife. Well, you can understand that. It was being caused by their husband. Well, you sure can understand that, right? Yeah. It was being caused by the IRS, the government, their boss, the asshole at work. And by the time they left my office, the upsets were gone, the problems were gone, the stress was gone, and none of those people showed up in the office. They had to be creating it all. Sure, the IRS gave them a real juicy invitation to get pissed off, no question about it. And they took the invitation and got real pissed off. Sure, their boss gave them an invitation, their wife gave them an invitation, but they didn't see it as an invitation. They didn't see it as a choice to accept that or not, right? They just bought into it and then blamed the other person. But this is phenomenally magnificent. I've been teaching seminars for 40 years, and it's all come down to the real truths. What James has done, he's gone to the top of the pyramid. Let's give him another hand. That's just incredible, man. And I've been doing truth. Let's get rid of the complexity. Let's come down to the real fundamental truths. What an immense discovery that your upset went away when the person you thought who caused the upset wasn't there. That shows you created the upset. Oh, I don't want to take that level of responsibility. Are you kidding? That shows you're the one with the power. You say somebody else caused your upset, there ain't nothing you can do about it. Nothing. You're dead in the water. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Dead in the water. Going down the tubes. Woo! There's nothing you can do. You know that if you have an upset that's caused by somebody else, there ain't nothing you can do about it? If you have stress that's caused by somebody else, there's nothing you can do about it. You got problems being caused by somebody else, nothing you can do about it. I studied emotions. I taught emotion mastery seminars and workshops for years in order to attempt to try to really learn what the emotions were about. And when I learned it, I decided, whoa, man, I want to give this to the world. And I didn't have no money to do it. Shoot, oh, don't use that word. Shucks. Because it's so simple. It's amazingly simple how we create the negative feelings that we have. Well, if we go on with this particular workshop, it'll pretty much be the same as if we don't, you hear all of these things and they're all kind of neat, but it doesn't really change anything, Life goes on and I'm going to have to go back to the struggles, that guy who's in the grave, he thought it could do something too. And what is that? That's apathy. How do these emotions come about? I designed a pavilion in the Wonder World theme park. The Wonder World theme park is a park that is billed as a living invitation to make life wonderful, coupled to all the know-how to pull it off. It's the first theme park that has a university in it. An entertaining university that entertains people into the truth. You get to discuss wisdom with dragons. You learn how to telepathically attract dolphins to swim with you by putting out the good vibrations. Yeah. Everybody get some good vibrations. Go, come on. Good vibrations. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on, dolphins. I'm cool, you like me, come on. Come on over here and swim with me. Yeah, it's going to be like cool, like I'll touch you, you can touch me, you know what I mean? Come on. You're putting out the good vibes, right? One of the pavilions is called emotions. And I'm going to share it with you because it's kind of an entertaining way of looking at the emotions that we create. James has hinted on this. There are 14 alien civilizations who have ships in our solar system right now. Large motherships, one of them 187 miles in diameter, parked in back of Saturn. All supporting us, not asking you to believe this. It's just one of Rafanello's weirdo points of view. They are supporting us. In the Emotions Pavilion, in this theme park that we are designing, you walk into a pre-show area. How many of you have been to Disney World by a show of hands? Let me see you. Put them up. Look around, see how many hands are up, see how many hands are not up. Go, it's fun. There's an energy pavilion for those of you who have been there. In this, you move into a pre-show area, a big oval building about the size of this room, but it's oval. And up above you, the entire gamut of human emotions is being projected, from the most base, gross, nasty emotions, all up to the most glorious emotions. The whole gamut is flicking on and off with the appropriate music designed by John Williams. And we got a new speaker system that puts Lucas sound to shame because it vibrates through your body, and you go, whoa, and you're seeing all of these emotions, right? Everybody go, whoa, yeah, come on, get it with me. Oh, yeah, look at him, whoa, do that. Oh, look at that. Everybody go, whoa, look at that one. Whoa, look at that. See, participant. Whoa, yeah, whoa. And then all of a sudden the room goes pitch black. Whoa. Whoa, that's called a contrast, right? Boom. Can't see your hand in front of your face. And this beautiful woman materializes floating in the middle of the room. I hope to use Jerry Ryan, who played 7 of 9 in the Star Trek series. Here she's called One of One. And she addresses you. She says, first of all, we wish to assure you that there never was any devious intent in creating the course that you are about to experience. It simply is that the elders realized that Earth was on the threshold of openly accepting aliens from other worlds, but was not quite ready to do so. So it was decided that we would blend unobtrusively into your culture to assist you with your decision to one day be part of the United Association of Worlds. To blend unobtrusively in your culture, we had to know how humans created their emotions. Hence this emotions mastery course. Professor Feeling is the originator of the course, and he is with us today, and you will be the first humans ever to experience this course. And again, we wish to assure you that there never was any devious intent in creating the course. And she vanishes. Poof. The doors open and you go into this plush theater. And as the production begins, the theater begins to turn. The curtain opens and you meet this wild Christopher Lloyd type of character, Professor Feeling. Remember from Back to the Future? Whoa, the wild hair and everything. That he is teaching a class of aliens what humans have to think in order to get the emotions that they feel. And he says, value. Value is the key. Humans, like us, value things. They value their possessions. They value their home. They value their loved ones. They value James. They value Rafanello. They value things. And when they have the idea that the value will go away, they feel fear. When they have the idea the value will go away, they feel fear. How many people value their right arm? Show me by a raise of hands. How many value your right arm, its ability to move? Everybody move it a little bit. Woo, 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 woo. So if a tiger comes after this thing you value, how do you tend to feel? You go into terror, intense fear. If you're a little bit worried, I wonder if anybody is photographing. John went around and took pictures of us here. They're going to know that I was at this event. I wonder if anything will happen to me. When I was invited, or when I proposed to James that I come and do some talks and act as an MC, I called some friends in Australia, and a couple of the friends said, you could get in trouble. And I went, oh, really? Well, how do you know that? And they really didn't know anything. It was just like crap, but well-created crap, it was good crap. And with all the years of study, I started to fall into it. Oh, I could get into trouble. And what does the mind do? It fills in the kind of trouble you could get into. Right? And the IRS guys are coming after me, and I'm in court, and I'm losing. Oh my God, I don't have much, and I'm going to lose that. Holy cripes, right? And then I went, what are you doing, John? Like with the peas, I backed away. I went, you bought into the invitation to feel afraid. To feel what? That the value would go away, and you're going to feel fear. The other side of fear is you feel the value won't occur. What if I can't really get this paperwork to work? What if I can't really repossess my home? What if I really don't get all of the money returned to me that was stolen from me? When you thought, oh, you got all excited about it, and then you're not so sure it's going to happen, right? What happens? You become afraid. You become nervous, right? You become irritated. That's light fear. If you're going to, either the value is going to go away or the value is going to come. What's sadness? What's grief? Grief is the idea that the value already went away. My wife went through a 3.5-year battle with cancer, one of the most beautiful people you ever want to meet. She's a kindergarten teacher, taught kids. Now, James, I'm getting griefy now, right? Taught them how to read at 3rd and 4th grade level. They loved her. She would read the bookstore, and they would love it. They'd fall in love with reading and literature. And she went through hell for 3.5 years. We also had a lot of good times during that period of time. But when I think of her, the value, I can't hug her anymore. People go, oh yeah, she's in a better place. Well, I'm not. You want the idea that the value went away brings tears to my eyes. That is the anatomy of sadness, the idea that the value has gone away. When you have the idea there is no value anywhere anymore, that's apathy. That's the anatomy of apathy. Nothing's of value anymore. The country's going to hell. We used to be great. I don't know what the hell we are now. Right? It's an apathy, right? What's anger? Anger is the idea that somebody is preventing you from getting what you want. Right? The idea is somebody else, you're angry. You son of a bitch! You made me fill out the paperwork wrong. I gave you $200 to help me fill out the paperwork, and you did it wrong. It came back. Give me my $200. You son of a bitch! That kind of thing, right? See, I gave you value. You didn't give me value. I'm mad at you. See, now you're blaming the other guy. You're angry at him because you think that he's the one preventing you from getting the value. As long as you think that, you're dead. You're going to be in a war game with that guy. Give me my $200 back. Fill out. You're going to be in a mess. And value present, the awareness of value present, is joy. Look around at these people. Look around at everybody. Look around. These are some of the most valuable people on earth. Come on, do it. Participate. Look how you smile when you look at them. These are beautiful, courageous people. Ooh, sometimes you even get a little embarrassed. Ooh. I'm looking at the big guy over there, and I'm kind of feeling a little love. Ooh, I better, I don't know. Hey, what are you worried about? You're worried about that somebody will think you're weird, and therefore you will lose the value of that friend. See? It all comes in the idea of you're going to lose, you're going to win. Isn't that amazing? Some people occasionally stumble across the truth, but most pick themselves up and continue on as if nothing had happened. All situations are fundamentally neutral. We add the meaning. You define something as bad, you will experience it as bad. Every time it comes into your consciousness, you'll have a bad feeling. If you define the IRS as bad, as the banking cartel as bad, you're going to have a bad feeling every time you think of them. Why? Because you define them as bad, negative meaning, negative effect on self, instantly, all the time, always works, 100% of the time, never fails. Yeah. And you go, now everybody go, ooh, the IRS. Oh, yeah. Whoa. Woo, I hope one comes to my door, yeah. Woo. See, you're laughing. And you say, well, that's just because it's humorous. It really isn't because it's humorous. It's because you assigned a negative meaning. And it seems so ridiculous that you would assign a positive, sensual meaning to an IRS agent coming to your door. We are the source of all our feelings. Isn't that incredible? Yeah. Isn't that incredible? Yeah. Isn't that incredible? Yeah. Isn't that terrific? Yeah. Aren't you happy to know that? Yeah. Now you're going to sneak off and forget that you heard that? Hope not. It's a hard place to go. Here's what my alien friend would say to me if I said that, and he pissed me off too when he said it. If you say so. You're the God. You really are. My alien friend defines us as the masters of limitation. We have mastered our own limitation. We pulled it off. We're good, man. Ooh, are we good? We're able to get feelings that stink, that are lousy, that we don't even know we created. Whoa. How'd you pull that off? Because you didn't look to see that you were creating the meaning, that you were creating the definition. What is that called? That is called the unconscious mind. Oh, yeah. The unconscious mind is running my life. Bullshit. You know what the unconscious mind is? It's things you're not conscious of. That's it. As soon as you become conscious of them, there's no unconscious mind. Hey? What is in a conscious mind? It's something you created. Oh, the unconscious mind. It's unconscious. It runs my life. It does things to me. How did it get the power to do things to you? By your simple, in present time moment saying, it has the power to do something to me, and therefore it does. It goes, okay, God said, I have the power to screw you over. Okay. The universe look, if you really are God, just take it as, as a wild possibility. If we really are God, then the universe has no choice but to prove that we're right no matter what we say. It has to orchestrate into an existence a reality that proves you're right all the time, and it always does. One of my greatest discoveries was genuine, in my gut, actual discovery that every one of you is 100% totally correct all of the time. That is really true. You are 100%. I think the government stinks. You're totally right. You know, evidence will come flying in, you know, to prove you're right. It is as we say that it is. Tomorrow, thanks to James, and God, I appreciate his willingness to have a crackpot like me up here on a stage. We're going to cover power and the source of power. It's going to blow you away. It's going to blow you away. I mean, it is so amazing. I searched for the underlining nature of power for a long time, and it's wild. This is called a preview of coming attractions. Time for a joke, I guess, huh? In the beginning, there was nothing. And then the Lord made light. And there was still nothing, but you could see it. Yeah, well, some jokes are good and some need a little work, you know, okay. What is a Christ consciousness? I studied that one for a long time. Catholic Church is scared to death that you discover the Christ consciousness. The Christ consciousness is literally a consciousness. It is you. How many people are aware that they are conscious? Please raise your hands. Look around, see how many hands are up. Anybody in here not aware they're conscious? Okay. Right? So you're conscious. I'm conscious that here I am. I'm me. When you become conscious that you are every living thing, every plant, every animal, every purpose, while still being yourself, at the same time, you are then a Christ consciousness. And the universe does what you say. There's an ancient philosophy called the philosophy of the tarot cards. The tarot is just a remnant of an old ancient philosophy in which there was the fool, the character who was supposed to be just a fool, but in truth he was the wisest man of all. The philosophy read, knowing all agreement, he has passed out of agreement. He knows what everybody contracted to. And he's removed himself from the contract. And dogs jump at him and they pass right through his body. Because he's removed himself from the contracts, all contracts. He knows what everybody agreed to, and he removes himself. I experienced that. I had a car pass through our car and our bodies and out the other side when I was in that state of consciousness. Believe it or not, as you choose, like Ripley would say. Knowing all agreement is passed out of agreement. That's the consciousness. You're so conscious, and that's what you're doing here. That's what we're all doing here. We're becoming more conscious of the contracts we brought into that we were unconscious of. And now we're becoming conscious of them, and the more conscious you become, the more godlike you become. If you become so conscious that you're aware that you're everyone, it's amazing. And I would do these incredible spiritual exercises. Let's do one right now. Anybody want to do one? Yeah. Okay. What you got to do is tell the mind to shut up. Step one, shut up. Now it either will or it won't, so don't worry about it. All right. Now I want you to think of a person walking around in Paris right now. In Paris. Don't try to figure it out, just spot one. It's either a male or a female. How many got a female? Raise your hands. Thank you. How many got a male? Raise your hands. Very good. See what they're seeing. Don't analyze it, don't question it, just see what they're seeing. You'll get it. How many people are seeing what they're seeing? Raise your hands. Look around at the hands. Good. Hear something they're hearing. Smell something they're smelling. Feel something they're feeling. What have you done? You've expanded your consciousness. You're using the body of another person rather than buying into the limitation, I only got one body. I'm only human. I only got this one body. And, if I throw it up against the wall at any decent velocity, it becomes remarkably secondhand. It's not very strong or something, right? No, now you've got a body. You can, now your mind will say, bullshit, it's your imagination. See these lights up here? That was somebody's imagination. That floor is somebody's imagination. Disneyland was somebody's imagination. You imagine that James had something to offer, and here you are. I once met a guy, and he said, I don't have any imagination. I said, cool. Of course, he was 100% totally right, because he said so. But I said to him, may I offer you another point of view? He said, sure. I said, from my point of view, you have a perfect imagination. You are perfectly imagining that you have no imagination. It is all imagination. One of my greatest famous quotes from one of my philosophers said, the greatest pretense is that it isn't all a pretense. We are pretending it all into existence. And we can pretend a paradise. We have the power to see life as it is. But remember, like James said, it is we who are the power, not the documents. They're tools. You try to take a screw out of the wall with your fingernail, it is quite difficult. So you get a screwdriver. It enables you to take the screw out with greater ease. That's a good tool for getting screws out of the wall. Fingernail ain't that good. Keep breaking my fingernails. And you had no idea what it cost me to get these fingernails, so, right? It's tools. And it's our job to get them to work. Why do we need these tools? Because we think we do. Because we didn't listen to what Christ said. I was brought up Catholic, and I was an altar boy, and I can still do the Latin. Intro tal Deum Deum quilitifica juventutem meum. I have no idea what it means. I just memorized it. But to my favorite quotes of Christ, did he exist? Did he not exist? Remember, I don't know. But I know there were a couple things that I heard that he said that I liked. One of them was, it is done unto you as you believe. And the other one I liked was when he was performing the miracles, he said to his impossibles? They probably were at that time, right? They were impossible. They couldn't do anything. But he was trying to get them to realize who they were. And when he was doing the miracles, he said, these things ye shall do, and greater things. I think it's about time. What do you think? Let's use the tools. Let's create the paradise that we have the power to create. I spent my whole life finding these truths and still keeping my attention to them. And I've been blessed with amazing experiences. And I invite the same to you. I started off in Bristol, Connecticut, watching Sinbad fly his carpet, and figured if I could learn enough science, maybe I could get the carpet off the ground, and then I would get a date. Because I wasn't going out with the girls. I saw the girls. I didn't get to go to the prom. Why? Didn't have the courage to ask one of them. So what I did was try to figure out how to get the carpet off the ground. So I figured if I come by, they'll just jump on the carpet, And I'm still working on that one. I love you guys. You are the leading edge. There are thousands of you out there, like James says. There are aliens just waiting with technology so astounding, so amazing, with civilizations where they live in ongoing ecstasy. The Hollywood conflict-oriented versions of aliens is bullshit. There are more stars than there are grains of sand on the beach, and there are more civilizations more magnificent than your wildest imagination, and we are on the threshold of having them be our friends. Thank you very much. I love you. Now let's give a word to James. He's back. Yeah. Whoa.
Thank you, John. Thank you. I'll never see an IRS agent again and think the same of them.
Thank you.
Well, when I first met John, we realized real quickly we were on the same page. We were saying the same thing, just speaking two different languages, you know? And I learned a long time ago that we all learn differently. You know, some of us are visual and some of us are audio and some of us have to actually do it, you know? And I like the way that John teaches. You know, he does it with some sense of humor and you know, some levity. You know, I envy him. You know, I'm a much more heavier, down-to-earth type, you know, nuts and bolts type of a teacher. And it works, but it's nice to have another perspective. And that's why I wanted to bring John here to participate today or this weekend, is because I knew he could add a whole new dimension and we could possibly take what we're teaching here to a whole new level. That we, by hearing this from a couple different perspectives in a couple different ways, that we could all really internalize this and make it real for ourselves. And I appreciate you. Thank you.